Listen, pal, we're on a mission. There's no way we're going to get involved in any third-rate variety show.
Second-rate variety show.
Hey, Kermit. Hold it! You're Mark Hamill! Yes! Huh?
No. He's my cousin. That's it. He's my cousin, and he's right outside.
Oh, well, go get him! Hurry! I want to see him! Run! Oh, boy! I'm a big fan of his.
Hiya, Fozzie.
Oh, wow! Hey, you know what? You could be a guest on this very show, right, Kermit?
Oh, well, maybe. What do you do, Mark?
Oh, well, I've been known to do impressions. Hey!
Mm-hmm. Who do you do?
It feels like 1974 in here. Is this on? For some reason, people call me the Space Cowboy. Some call me a gangster. They don't even know me. You know, some people call me Maurice. I have no idea what that means. And I've never spoke for the pompous of love because that's not even a real word. They say I'm doing you, which is cool, but then they say I'm doing you wrong, which ain't too cool. And by the way, who are they anyway? They are the people from high school that made all of our lives miserable. The football players. The head of the cheerleaders is now 42 years old.
Hello, Ron.
Hello, JP.
Oh, no. This is Mark Hamill speaking.
Oh, my God. The Mark Hamill?
That's right. I'm guesting upon your podcast. Ask away. Any questions?
Can I have your autograph?
No. I only rubber stamp my autographs, unless it's at a con appearance, in which case they would cost $150 per signature.
Mark Hamill, you sound like you're doing Shakespeare.
Acting!
Oh, you're
always.
Acting. I see. You're
always in character.
Ah, nice. So Mark Hamill was doing a character of Mark Hamill?
Like an onion. I'm like Ron, I mean, on a serious note, this is JP, by the way.
Oh, hey, it is JP.
I know, Theater of the Mind, once again.
I was lost there for a second.
Yes. So, today's our big Mark Hamill episode, and we were talking offline about how great it would be to get Mark Hamill on the podcast.
Sure, we're a couple of nobodies.
Couple guys, couple schmoes.
Sitting here at my table in Chicago and thinking, yeah, we could get him as a guest.
I think so. You know what's funny is I feel like just a few years ago we could have easily.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like it's in our grasp.
Yeah. But the tighter we squeeze, the more stars slip through our fingers.
Problem, episode 7's coming out. The window's closing.
I know. Soon we were talking about this earlier. It's weird that he's gonna. Mark Hamill is going to appear on late night TV. Like
Mark Hamill's going to be everywhere. Guest. Yeah, in a little over a year, Mark Hamill's going to be everywhere.
And that hasn't happened really since Return of the Jedi, right? I mean, sure, he came out when the reissues came out, right?
Well, yeah, it seemed like he was kind of drug out to promote the special editions. I saw him on Conan, the Today Show.
Even so, it was kind of a B-C-lister kind, where he was, Mario Lopez comes on, he has to scoot down to the couch.
Oh, wow, Mario Lopez.
Hey, it was the late 90s. He still had a little juice.
So, yeah, I guess he hasn't really... he's had large gaps in his public profile.
Well, yeah, as we discovered as we did the research, maybe not so many gaps as we were led to believe.
It's true. He has kept himself busy.
Yes, he's a busy bee.
Busy Jedi.
Bee. Yes.
Yeah. So,
well, maybe Jedi. That debate goes on.
Right. So, folks, you're listening to Star Wars, Delusions of Granular. That is granular, not grandeur. The granular is on purpose, in case you're wondering. And if you don't get it, well, it's all about
Tune out.
Yeah.
Tune out now.
Stop listening. No.
We got to stop this. Seriously, last episode I came after the audience pretty hard.
Yeah, no. I'm not trying to go after the audience.
No,
I was just thinking,
we love the audience.
We never really explained our title.
Oh, Delusions
of Granular.
My father was a boy. He well, I'd rather not go into it.
He worked in the salt mines of...
Let's save it for another episode, Ron.
Okay, all right.
I don't think we should go into it here.
But
SW Dog means something, though.
Yeah,
and
it's a title we put some thought into.
Yeah,
so
it's
not a
pretty
typo.
heavy.
It's not autocorrect did not try to correct the spelling of our title.
I'll tell you,
Delusions of Granulars.
If my brother hadn't died in that tragic accident, I mean, he could tell you exactly what it means.
So anyway, you can please leave us a review on iTunes.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like us on Facebook, SWDog, or Facebook.com/SWDog.
And we still have an ongoing competition to see who will be the first person to actually email in to swdog77
That's right.
at gmail.com.
Right. And are we going to do the contest this week?
Oh yeah. So 5 or more facts in this podcast tonight will not be true.
Right.
If you can identify those 5 or more facts,
Yes.
on our Facebook at facebook.com/swdog77,
Yes.
then you will be rewarded king for a day, or queen, depending on your preference.
Right. Well, we'll come up with something.
Yeah, we'll actually give you something cool.
Yeah.
We'll discuss the particulars with the winner.
Right.
It's
Right.
a private matter.
But you gotta play to win, folks.
Yeah, of course.
So
Just like
yeah. So as JP said, we are going to talk all about Mark Hamill.
That's right. This is the big Mark Hamill episode.
Not Luke Skywalker, but the actual actor. This is kind of our actor profile episode.
Yes.
We are going to profile all things Mark Hamill in his career. So
And life.
And life, yeah.
Yes.
So Star Wars is kind of going to take a back seat, I think, a little bit this episode.
As much as it can when you're Mark Hamill.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna kind of spread out a little bit and talk about things beyond Star Wars, but obviously connected because we're dealing with Mark Hamill himself.
Mm-hmm.
So, where to begin with Mark Hamill? Do we start at the very, very beginning of
the earliest
his acting career?
The earliest footage I've actually seen is that TV movie where he plays a serial killer. I don't have the title off.
That wasn't early on, was it?
That was pre-Star Wars.
Was it? Oh, I'm thinking of
by
a
a year
different
or
one.
two.
I'm thinking of a different one. I thought he only did like TV.
I believe this was actually a backdoor pilot that was made into a TV movie.
Oh, see, I'm thinking he played a serial killer way later in his career. He had like a mustache.
Oh, you're talking about recently? The
Yeah.
Sushi Girl?
No.
Oh.
This is pre Sushi Girl, post Star Wars.
Oh,
He had,
yeah,
like,
that
a
picture where he's got the bloodshot eyes.
Yeah.
I've never seen that movie.
Yeah.
Still waiting
Yeah.
for it.
We've tried to track down a lot of Mark Hamill's work.
Yes.
But some of the things are just kind of because of the nature of his oeuvre. It's hard to track down.
Yeah.
You know?
He's he's got that movie that was made in Calgary or
Hungary.
Hungary. Yes.
Yeah. So, well, let's start at the beginning.
Yeah.
He was a TV actor.
That's
long before Star Wars started. He actually starred on General Hospital and soap opera.
Mm-hmm.
And that was around 1972, 1973. So this is, predating Star Wars by like 4 or 5 years.
I always think it's weird that like the General Hospital people never get like a big super special where they get all the stars who like started on General Hospital.
I feel like they did in the past, but
Have they?
soap
Didn't
operas.
James Franco start there and like a ton of people?
Rick Springfield.
No. Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I could not track down any General Hospital Mark Hamill footage. He had to be a young guy.
Sure.
He wasn't. Was he playing a doctor?
Yeah. I mean, he was probably playing like a
Doogie Howser.
Yeah.
He was the first Doogie Howser.
They introduced us guest super doctor.
Right. So then he went on. He did some other TV shows. Of note is he was a guest on The Partridge Family.
Oh yeah, that's right, with Danny Bonaducci.
Right.
Oh, they
Which
have
we'll turn up later.
Yeah.
He also was on the TV series 8 is Enough.
8 is Enough. I'm not familiar with 8 is Enough.
Eight is Enough, I believe, was kind of a melodrama about a family with 8 kids.
Sure.
I believe.
Kind of a Brady Bunch.
Yeah, kind of, but not really a comedy. More of just kind of
Dramedy.
Dramedy. Yeah. I don't even know if there was comedy in it, but Dick Van Patten, I believe, was the father. If you're familiar with Dick Van Patten.
Dick Van Patten, not ringing a bell off the top of the head.
What's funny about this show is, so I believe he played a cousin on it. I don't think he was one of the 8 kids. But Mark Hamill comes from a family where he is one of 7 siblings.
I saw that, yeah.
So he is. He has quite a. There's a lot of Hamills out there, and he is one of them.
I would love to I'd love to run into somebody that looks just like Mark Hamill. It's like, Mark Hamill! And they're like, oh, no, it's Ted.
No,
Ted Hamill.
It's my sister. So then he gets his big break in a little movie called Star Wars.
Yes.
And
age 19?
yeah, 19, 20.
Somewhere in there?
Well, let's see. He was. I figured out the math earlier. I think he was actually older than that.
Really?
I think he was around 26, actually. Playing a 19 or 20-year-old. Because I think he was 19 or 20 on
yeah, that would make sense, because he did 10 years of TV work and stuff before that movie. And just looking at his IMDb, he shows up in everything.
Right.
Right. All this TV stuff. Stuff like TV series that you forget, like the Texas Wheelers.
Yeah, he was...
Delancey Street.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. Delancey Street, The Crisis Within. That was
where he played the serial killer?
Yes, thank God. Yeah, I got that on a videotape years ago.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, so he goes on, makes Star Wars. And
what's he playing that?
He plays
Boba Fett, right?
The role slips out of my mind.
I was looking for a Jedi mind trick joke, but anyhow. So yeah, Luke Skywalker, of course.
Luke Skywalker, he goes on to become huge,
yes.
famous person. Follows that up with Corvette Summer.
Yeah. We really could have just started at Corvette Summer.
We
Clearly
could
that's what we wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
This really could have been a Corvette Summer episode.
Right. So this is where kind of the weirdness that is Mark Hamill starts.
Yes. Because
Corvette Summer is a kind of a summer comedy romp.
Sure.
Where...
Kind of in the vein of... I remember before I actually watched it, I thought it was kind of in the vein of a Porky's or something along those lines.
See, I never really thought of it that way. I remember watching it years ago when I was younger because it was connected to Star Wars. I want to watch this. Didn't really retain any of it, so I watched it recently just to familiarize myself with it. What I got out of it is he had been hanging around with George Lucas on the set of Star Wars and Harrison Ford, right?
Yep.
George Lucas, known gearhead prior to making movies, got into a huge car accident, decided, I can't do this anymore. I'm going.
Gio got into a huge car accident?
Yes, as a teen, he got into a car accident.
I did not know this.
Yes.
Is that why he's so small? When you first, or in the old.
The doctor told him in order to survive, he needs to wear flannel for the rest of his life.
and someday debilitating neck growth would come in.
Anyhow. Also, Harrison Ford, prior to Star Wars, made American Graffiti, a very car-oriented movie.
Yes.
Right? Mark Hamill, being young and impressionable,
very Americana.
Also. I feel like he felt like he needed to make his big car movie.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Hanging around George Lucas,
sure.
Talked, I'm sure, about cars. And Harrison Ford made his car movie. Mark Hamill says to himself, I'm going to make my big car movie.
Right.
Corvette Summer.
Previous to doing research for this podcast, have you seen Corvette Summer?
Mm-hmm.
I had not. And
when I was real young.
I gotta tell you, if I would have seen that at the right age, maybe 8, somewhere in there.
Sure.
I think I might have been a gearhead. It really sells you hard on the mystique of being a car guy.
I don't know if here's the thing. I don't know if you would have saw it if you were came of age at that time period. because I looked up on Internet Movie Database. It's made for $9 million, which shocked me. I'm like, $9 million? That can't be right in 1978. And grossed like $15 million. So it didn't really, light the box office on fire.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's back in the days when a movie swept, because it's a true B picture, right? So it would have done the traveling drive-in circuit. Where it slowly sweeps across America.
Absolutely.
Huh.
So Corvette Summer is about a kid who is taking shop classes in high school, and one of the projects is to rebuild a car.
Yeah.
So
great opening.
Yeah,
great opening.
They're at the opening of the movie is they're at a junkyard looking for a car that they can basically rebuild. Mm-hmm. And Mark Hamill finds a Corvette being about ready to be smashed by the compactor, and tells them to stop the machinery.
It's super dramatic.
Car. Right.
Yeah, he runs. He's like possessed. This is the first post Star Wars. I guess the first post Star Wars acting by Mark Hamill, but it's the first post Star Wars freak out Mark Hamill.
Right.
Because throughout the movie, he has these moments of where he played a little bit of darkness, right?
Oh yeah.
He's in a dark obsessiveness.
Yeah. So they rebuild this ridiculous looking Corvette.
Yeah. Yes.
It's super hot rod.
I was reading some comments. It almost looks more like a Firebird based on the headlights.
It was ridiculous looking. But the shop class takes it out for kind of a night on the town.
Uh-huh.
And co-star, almost cameo really, Danny Bonaducci gets...
I missed him.
Is in charge, or he gets to drive the car for a little bit.
Oh, does Danny Bonaducci show up again at the end?
Yes. Danny Bonaducci basically goes, and they're talking to him on CB, right? And they're like, the teacher is like, I need you to go pick up 8 Cokes.
No, and this is 1977, 78?
78.
Yeah. So the CB radio is a thing.
CB radio is huge, right?
Yeah.
He's driving around, talking on the CB, stopping at 7-Eleven, getting some Cokes, and the car gets stolen.
Oh no!
Right? Danny Bonaducci walks back, and they're like, "Where's the car?" And they're like, "Well, I don't know. I think it got stolen. You told me to pick up the Cokes, and I picked up the Cokes, but the car got stolen." So this sets Mark Hamill's character off on a long adventure because he is going to be obsessed with finding this car for the rest of the movie.
Yes.
It's
this cool thing where he just goes off to find the car.
He goes off. This takes place in California.
Yeah.
And he goes off to Vegas because he finds out while he's working at a gas station attendant that somebody has seen his car in Vegas.
Well, and keep in mind, he wasn't a gas station attendant. He got that job while looking for the car, right?
No, well,
or
maybe.
A second gas station.
He was like a gas station attendant twice. He was a valet once.
It becomes this story where he goes off to go find his car because he hears someone, he sees it, and he just kind of goes aimlessly in the direction of it. Loses his money, has to take crappy jobs.
Yep.
It's a whole adventure.
Runs into a prostitute.
Played by
the great Annie Potts.
The great Annie Potts, whose name I did not know until we started doing this.
Right.
I always knew her as
Annie
Janine.
Potts is known as Janine from
Ghostbusters.
Right. So this was kind of her breakout role.
And she's flat out amazing.
Yeah,
I think she's
great.
fantastic in this movie.
So she's like a wannabe prostitute.
Yeah, it's
lives
such
out of a
weird.
van.
This is such a '70s teen comedy thing where it's so if you scratch the surface at all, it becomes remarkably dark. She gets beat up at one point when she's trying to turn a trick.
Right.
But the whole concept is that she is putting on this facade of being a tough, streetwise prosy who's really just a naive girl.
Right, and she also is wants to sleep with Mark Hamill because she's in love with him.
Yeah, straight up
she's
falls in love with him.
Yeah, she is using it as I need to practice.
And quite frankly, who would not fall in love with Mark Hamill at this point?
Mark Hamill is great in this. He's got the long, greasy hair.
He looks great.
Baseball hat, skinny dude, walking around, 70s bell bottoms.
Watching this movie, the thought I kept having was just if only he could have made 100 movies this year. Because he was the dead-on perfect, looks like he's around 1920 maybe.
Sure.
Oh,
yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, just great.
So...
And he's so charismatic and likable.
Yeah,
and also
very
able
likable.
to go like very dark though. Like when he starts talking about how much he wants this car back, and like how he's just like I like talking about how much you put into it, and like the teacher's talking to him, and it's like it's just a car, you know, they come and go,
Right.
And he's like
No.
no,
No.
yeah,
He's a man possessed.
exactly,
Man possessed.
yes,
And I'm watching this movie, and I'm thinking, you know what this could have been?
no,
This could have been the prequel to Star Wars.
yeah,
This could have been Luke's adventures before Obi-Wan takes him away to Alderaan. This is Luke's adventures at Tashi Station.
This could be the story of how he got the land speeder.
Right,
You know,
exactly.
like you could like I kept noticing there were so many mirrored scenes.
There
like
is.
scenes that like
There's a
mirrored
whole-
Star Wars.
Takes place in the desert,
It
first
couldn't.
of all.
It couldn't be a mistake, right? It couldn't be an accident.
Right. The teacher turns out to be involved in a car theft ring.
There's a trash compactor scene.
There's a trash compactor scene, yes.
There's a strangely incestuous mother kiss.
Did you document this, or
I did
I
write
was
some
going to
notes.
say somebody else
Yeah.
document this.
No,
that
I
you're
was writing notes
Okay.
for the first
Right,
45
no.
minutes before I just got sucked in the movie.
Okay.
Like there's a sunset shot, like where he's
Yes.
like against the sunset, and I was just like, this is like the most iconic shot from Star Wars.
Right.
You can't say you're not doing
Right.
this on purpose.
Right. The teacher who ends up being involved in the car theft ring turns him to the dark side
Yeah.
by offering him a job working in the car theft ring, and instead of Mark Hamill not succumbing to the dark side, he does. He turns dark, and we get to see Luke Skywalker turn dark in this movie by buying bad polyester clothes and sunglasses and treating his woman poorly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he goes like, so there's this whole thing where he meets up with Annie Potts. Annie Potts picks him up and talking tough and being like, yeah, I'm a prostitute. Come on, you want me to turn a trick before me? You want me to turn a trick? You know, and like trying to get him to pay for sex and stuff, and he doesn't want to do it, and like, because he's very
$20. That's a lot of money back then.
Well, remember initially he offers her like
15. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
right. 15.
Yeah, she's like,
and
what do
she's
you
like
mean?
15. He's
Yeah.
like, no, I said 50.
yeah, which I still thought was like that seems pretty affordable for sex.
Yeah,
I
right.
mean, okay. I haven't priced it out in a while, but I mean, wow. But yeah, so like it's this whole thing where she's supposed to be the street tough, and he's supposed to be the naive kind of farm boy.
He's a virgin in it. He
Yes.
comes out and says he's a
Yes,
virgin.
That's right, and she takes his virginity.
Yes.
And he has this great, like, joyful scene where he loses his virginity. Like, it was like, I'm shocked at how good this movie was.
It was
I
fun.
really enjoyed it.
It was so fun.
But yeah, and honestly, when you said that the teacher turns out to be bad, that was actually a twist that got me. Like, I
Really?
as
Yeah,
I was
right.
watching it, I wrote it, and I was like, oh my god, like the teacher is bad. Like, that
So
was the first time on this podcast where I actually considered putting up a spoiler warning. Like, people might actually want to go back and watch this.
you should go watch it. You can actually watch it all on
It's on YouTube.
on
yeah.
YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the legalities of that, but it's out
Nope,
there.
but it's out there. Yeah, on YouTube. So he goes on then to. So I'm trying to see if I got the timeline right.
Yeah.
Makes Corvette Summer movie. Then gets into a car accident before the making of Empire Strikes Back. Or that's what they lead you to believe.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we could spend the entire podcast on this.
Oh yeah. This is I have like a bulletin board up in my room with arrows and yarn connecting the dots, like trying to figure out this mystery of what happened in between Star Wars, Corvette Summer, Empire Strikes Back, where everyone says, oh my god, he had this huge car accident in a Corvette.
Right.
And it
Post
led
Corvette
to
Summer.
a scarred face and
Possible mental derangement.
possible. But disfigurement where he's never looked right since then.
Right. And now, the story is, if you want to believe the conspiracy theorists, which, until recently I have been one.
Right.
Until I was presented with a better conspiracy theory. But if you look at, like, in Empire at the beginning, it's attacked by the
The Wampa.
Wampa.
Yeah.
And So then he has like that kind of explains away why his face looks weird.
Yeah,
He's
there's
got-
actually I was trying to pull up pictures of facial scarring on Mark Hamill, right? And there's two pictures on the internet that come up. One is they're both of Luke when he's kind of recovering in bed. Okay, one he's got an actual like piece of cloth over his face with his eye cut out and his nose cut out and his mouth, and it's covering like I'm holding my hand up. He's covering like the right side of his face.
Right. Yeah.
Like
Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yes.
Like, and that's like somehow in the Star Wars universe, that's treatment for his wounds. Okay. There's another image, and I believe this is what was in the movie.
Yeah.
Same thing. He's laying in bed, propped up, and you see scarring underneath his eye and then kind of on his cheek.
Yes. That's the one.
That's the one. That's the one everyone's like, oh my god, facial reconstruction.
Well, let's also like address the fact that he starts to look froggish.
Okay.
I mean,
all right.
in Empire
Sure.
Strikes Back, his face takes on
He does have a
froggish
little
look.
bit. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
So, people have said that they've used cartilage from his ear to reconstruct his face. That other people have said, including, I believe, Mark Hamill himself, just broken nose.
Yep. Mark Hamill states that it's just a broken nose, and going by the idea that the simplest answer is probably the true one, a lot of people just say, hey, it's age, man.
Yeah, right.
You know, like,
right.
we all look perfect and great when we're 19 to 25.
Yeah.
You know?
So
and then, like, after a couple of years, like, you start to look like you're 30. You know? Like,
right. So he broke his nose, possibly, and what adds to the mystery is he can't really explain it because he blacked out. It was a car crash.
Yeah.
You know, he wakes up in the hospital and with a broken nose, or, you know, worse, but probably not. Right?
Well, let's not say probably. So let's keep this bias.
Right.
Unbiased here. Because my thing is, if that's the truth, he just had a broken nose, show me the picture.
Right.
Show me the picture from that 6-month period where you're recovering. No,
nothing out there. Nothing out there. But what adds to the story is people say that Lucas wrote the Wampa attack scene to cover up and actually legitimize in the Star Wars story how this character got all these scars on his face.
Sure. That's
not true because Lucas actually wrote that scene back in 1974.
Is that true?
Yes.
Wow, good job, Ron.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, this has been a mystery, and it's still, you know, to this day, a mystery.
I mean,
Whatever happened to Mark Hamill's face, and was there a car crash in mind back in 1978, 79, or whenever this happened? But
Corvette Summer.
yeah, this is the first of what I like to call the trilogy of Mark Hamill mystery.
Oh.
There's 2 more coming up. Yes.
Exciting.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
So,
now, for the record, I've always maintained that, like, it was a horrible, debilitating accident.
Right.
It ruined his face
but
and his
he
mind.
never comes out, you know, never.
But you presented me with an alternative theory. It's the first one, and I've spent a lot of time on the internet that I've actually believed.
What's that? I forgot what my theory was.
Oh, okay. What your theory was when we were talking about it was there was no car crash.
Yeah, there was no car crash.
There was no car crash.
Right.
Now, can you explain that to the people at home, Ron?
My theory as to why there was no car crash?
Yeah. That this was actually all propagated by Mark Hamill.
I said this? I don't remember this. All I thought was, I'm like, well, this didn't really happen. Because, like, the facts to me,
yes,
he was in a movie called Corvette Summer, and he crashes a car, happens to be a Corvette. Like, it all seems very fictitious to me.
Yes.
It all seems like, okay, of course, you know, the tabloids make this up because, you know, he was in a movie with Corvettes.
Yeah.
So, of course, he had to be driving a Corvette.
Yeah, time of yellow journalism and what have you, yeah.
But I think, I don't know what else my theory was other than
maybe
just bad aging. He just aged poorly between 1977 and 1979.
maybe I extrapolate on your theory quite a bit because I hate that theory. I refuse to believe it's
that is bad aging.
I mean, sure, maybe that is the truth, but I like to believe that Mark Hamill, for his own reasons, drummed up some publicity and concocted this whole thing of just a car. I mean, think about it.
It's possible. I mean, it's possible.
Bob Dylan has a motorcycle accident.
Sure.
Changes the course of his career.
Right.
Right. So I mean, maybe he sees some inspiration there. Maybe he fancies himself a James Dean type, and he wants to take his career to the next level. And he says, James Dean died in a car crash. Well, I'm the James Dean who lived. I'm the boy who lived. I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm the greatest star of my generation. I'm going to be the big red one.
Right.
You know?
The big. Well.
So like,
I would say that all of this is
whether
probable.
Or not,
all of this is probable because, as you've been alluding to, there's a madness to Mark Hamill.
Yes, a darkness.
Like not a darkness.
Take it back.
He's not a darkness.
It's
a
an
madness. It's an innocent madness to him.
Yes.
He is, of all the stars in Star Wars, he's the one that's the most on board with the whole fantasy of it.
Oh, yeah.
The whole, like, like he wanted, like he was actually a fan of science fiction movies before he went and took the role of Luke Skywalker.
Well, I don't want to say that because we watched the interview just today where he starts it out, the one you sent me, and he says, I'm not really an expert on.
Well, he's not an expert, but he says that if he's going to do
read more than 5 science fiction books, feels like they're an expert.
Well, this is 1976, 77.
Even more so then.
I would say
you're not.
I would say that he's definitely more of a science fiction fan than Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford. He seems to be the. I mean, based on his career, post Return of the Jedi.
Yes.
He's the one that seemed to be most comfortable just being known for being Luke Skywalker.
Oh, totally. I mean, I think he had no animosity about that. He didn't want to. I don't know if there was ever really a period where he wanted to break away from it. Right? I think he was always proud of it and never wanted. Like, right. Harrison Ford, on the other hand,
wanted to break away quickly. Yes.
Yes.
And Carrie Fisher was just stoned out of her mind. She didn't know she was making Star Wars.
Yeah, well, it was Star Wars. But all right. So sorry, we just dropped a lot of stuff. I got to backtrack.
Backtrack. Yes.
Okay. So number one, I'm very disappointed that you either don't remember or did not concoct that theory because I thought I had been freed from my ongoing belief that that accident was horrible.
I don't think it was a horrible accident.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the idea that he concocted it, but if that wasn't your theory, then...
that was not my theory that he concocted. I just don't think it happened.
This is such a mystery. I can't stop thinking about it.
Well, that's the thing. And I mean, we're discussing a car accident that's happened 40 years ago.
So, anyhow...
people can't stop thinking about this.
The debate continues. Please reach out with the truth.
Right.
Mark Hamill.
Right.
Just a picture your broken nose. I'm happy to believe you. I just need to see something. Number two. So yeah, him. As far as him being a science fiction fan, is there any evidence of that pre-Star Wars? I mean, I feel like he was kind of just a Californian, right?
Well, he was born in Virginia.
Is that true?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
They're on the other side of the country.
Born in Virginia, somehow got to California. Like I said, one of 7 kids.
He seems like a very... I mean, this is kind of turning head, but he seems like a very private man about his personal life, actually.
He does. Yeah, like, he seems very private for being such an iconic person, character. Yeah, like a lot of his life is very private.
I spent maybe 10, 15 minutes today Googling up pictures of his, family.
Right.
Couldn't find much.
Right.
I mean, his sons and daughter I have.
Yes.
Plenty. I have a whole file full of their pictures.
Well, so he met his wife early on.
Really? How early?
I want to say maybe around Empire. She was a dental hygienist, and he stayed married to her. He's still married to her. Same woman. Yes. So that's...
Wait, dental hygienist. When did that happen? When he had to have his teeth reconstructed post the accident?
Don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Just curious.
has 2 kids, right? Boy and a girl.
No, 3 kids.
3 kids.
Yeah,
2 boys.
and
Oh,
a
2
girl.
boys.
Yeah, I just found out about the youngest boy today. He looks like Anakin. Hopefully someday they'll get to put him in the role.
Sure. So let's see. He goes on to he hosts Saturday Night Live.
Does he?
Yes.
Oh, that's fascinating.
And then he goes on to be a host of the Muppet Show.
Yes.
Which is fascinating.
That is a fantastic thing because it really shows a little bit of why I believe the true Mark Hamill.
Right.
You know, he's very goofy. He's doing impressions that are, even in 1970-something, outdated.
Sure.
You know?
He's also playing a dual role. He's actually playing Luke Skywalker and Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
Like they're
Who's
two
Luke
different
Skywalker's
entities.
cousin.
Right.
Yes.
And he's like, I think he believes it. Like there's a certain madness to him that I think he believes that this is all
That's
real.
the thing, is I do feel like he's really into it. He's like you said, he's really into the
He's
sci-fi
really into
fantasy,
it.
and
Yeah.
he really does like respect the character of Luke Skywalker.
Right.
Which is what is continuously fascinating about the upcoming SW7.
Yeah. Yeah, right. He's going to play this character that he
Has
clearly
total
loves.
love and
Yeah.
respect for.
Yeah. So
I'd like to believe that like they can't, like, sorry, this is an aside, but that they can't lead the character too far astray. Because like,
I hope so.
I mean, like, do you think he would let them play him?
Well, okay. Let's get to that later in his career
sorry,
because
sorry.
I want to talk about the darkness that
One
creeps into his life.
One more aside then.
Yes.
Before we totally forget Corvette Summer.
Yes.
Annie Potts.
Annie Potts.
Do you think number one, how hot was she in that?
She was
amazing.
She was
Wow.
really hot. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought she was hot in Ghostbusters. Like,
Right.
Number 2, do you think it would have been better for them
Yes.
to, after A New Hope,
Yes.
recast Leia?
Oh
with Annie
yeah.
Potts?
Nice. Yeah, that'd be great.
I think
That'd
would
be great.
fantastic.
They can still do it.
Yes.
Recast her. Recast Carrie Fisher in episode 7.
Jerk around.
Just Carrie. Sorry,
No.
this isn't really working, and just have Annie Potts slide right in there.
Totally.
She's got the geek cred. She was in Ghostbusters.
She has a contract and stuff, but I'm sure there's got to be a rider on there that if she does drugs,
Right.
that she's out.
Right.
So just plant
How
some,
easy could it be to
plant
just
some-
plant some drugs on her and
yeah.
get her, hooked again?
Yeah.
Like that's got to
Yeah.
be super easy. Right?
Totally.
Right.
So if it's not already happened, I mean, let's be honest. I mean,
We haven't really heard much about her. We know that
dude, someone
Hamill's got the beard, but we haven't really heard anything about her being on set.
no.
Or
Don't you think like you know what I hope though?
Hmm.
I swear, I hope that she makes us eat our words. I hope that she delivers such an amazing
yeah.
performance that like
Yeah.
I'm brought to tears.
right. Yeah.
But
Tears of agony.
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So going back to what you were saying, we've moved on in timeline.
We've moved on.
Muppets.
Post Empire.
Yes.
He's doing the circuit as Saturday Night Live. He's doing Muppets.
Yes.
He's talking Fozzie Bear. He's a song and dance man.
Yeah.
We're
Doing
seeing.
great,
We're
like-
starting to see, especially on the Muppet Show. We're starting to see his talent branch out.
Yes.
He's doing impressions.
Interesting thing. Yeah, he's doing voices.
He's
impressions.
doing voices,
Yes,
right?
Yes.
Right?
Sorry, I almost
No,
said what
no.
you're saying. Sorry.
He's doing Fozzie Bear. He's doing Kermit the Frog. He's interacting with puppets.
Yes.
I mean, this is all obviously the Muppets are very much tied to the Star Wars universe because of Frank Oz, who played Yoda.
Yeah.
Also played Fozzie Bear and Miss Piggy and Animal and like same guy did all these voices.
Yeah. And was called Miss Piggy by Marlon Brando when directing that bank heist movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean,
Couldn't direct.
like, yeah. Well, who can direct Brando?
No one anymore.
But
De Niro,
I mean,
guess.
Frank Oz was. I mean, technically Yoda was just a Muppet. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the same.
Oh yeah, 100%. Same technology.
So having Mark Hamill move over to the Muppets and interact with Miss Piggy in that was not like that much of a stretch for him. I mean, he made most of Empire with a puppet.
Oh yeah. Well, you've heard like he was just like. I've heard accounts at least that he was like kind of filled with like childlike glee about working with Yoda and stuff, and
Yeah, right. So,
I would love for him to come on the podcast and tell us the truth.
he'd
He's
be
just
great.
like,
He'd be
no,
great.
man, I didn't like that. That shit sucked. I'm
no.
an actor.
Well, you were talking about some of the truth. Well, we'll get to some of where he schools people on the truth a little bit later.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
I'm just kind of following the timeline of Mark
Yes,
Hamill.
of course.
So Empire
derailing
happens.
us.
No, that's fine. Empire happens. Return of the Jedi happens.
Oh, one more derailment. Since we're on the Muppets, isn't it cool, though? Like, he does that impression. What was his impression where he does the gargling?
Yeah, he's
Gershwin.
he's gargling Gershwin.
Yeah, gargling Gershwin, which is like a reference that, like, people even back then, I don't feel like, it wasn't like you were listening to Gershwin in 1970-something,
Right.
but you were watching Looney Tunes, because it was always on TV.
Right.
And, like, the old Marx Brothers and the old, like, Three Stooges, all that stuff was just always on TV back then. So you had this connection to this old world. Like, I mean, the whole Muppets really pulls from, like, an old world,
Oh, yeah,
like,
definitely
showbiz
variety,
thing.
yeah, vaudeville kind of thing.
It's a thing that I feel like is so hard today. Like, if we had a Gen 3 fan on the show, like, I feel like I can still connect to it because I watched a lot of Looney Tunes growing up and stuff. But a Gen 3 fan, I don't think they're going to connect to that.
I gotta say, like,
Gen 3 fans are so dumb.
no, I don't want to.
Sorry,
I don't. Wanna,
sorry, Gen 3.
No, I don't want to disparage anybody, but I do want to mention another podcast that actually did do an episode about the Muppet Show with Mark Hamill on it. Star Wars Minute.
Oh, right.
They did a special while they're on hiatus.
Was
where
that
they,
a live one? Or is
It was a live episode.
Yeah, I don't listen to the live ones.
Yeah. I mean, I love their show, but they did the live episode and about Mark Hamill's appearance on the Muppet Show, and it wasn't just Mark Hamill. R2D2, C3PO, and Chewbacca were also on it.
Yeah.
So it was billed as the stars of Star Wars on the Muppet Show. I'm guessing that the hosts of the Star Wars Minute, as well as their guests for that episode, are younger than I am.
Sure.
They seem to not get the 70s humor.
I think Alex is probably around your age.
Maybe. Yeah. But, like, I listened to that. They seem to not get the 70s humor of that show. And I was just like, I mean, I watched that recently for the show just to kind of refresh my memory, because actually that's one of my favorite, Star Wars Muppet Show episodes.
Yes.
I love all the Muppet Show.
Oh, he's wearing that
episodes,
great.
but
That's like the best Luke Skywalker outfit.
right. And I watched it. And I was laughing at it. I was like, yeah, this is like I understand the time that it was made. So I get the humor.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like it was... I mean, it was silly, but it was also like, that was the time.
Well, 70s humor is a very, like, it's a different thing, obviously. Like, I mean, you go back and watch the SNL, one of their more famous sketches, like Cheeseburger, Cheeseburger, Cheeseburger. And, like, it's really funny and really intricate, but, like, a lot of people don't find it. Like, they don't see the humor. They don't get the fact that, like... Oh, well, because he had to repeat cheeseburger 15 times in the background, Dan Aykroyd's got 15 cheeseburgers going, and, like, it's hilarious, but, like, it's not, it doesn't come across as well sometimes. But, I mean, honestly, I feel like those guys totally do get that humor. But they're trying to be funny for the live show.
Oh, maybe.
And that's why I don't listen to live shows.
Maybe, yeah.
Because there's a lot more stress to make those laughs happen.
Sure.
It's easier to poke fun at something.
It's easier to poke fun.
Yeah.
I get it. But, yeah, I read into it as, well, these are younger guys, the Gen 3 fans, and they're just not really understanding that, the past.
Oh, well, yeah. Well,
because I don't know the age of these guys. Maybe Alex, the host, is my age, but...
I mean, well, if not, he's between our ages.
Yeah.
So, he's got to be up there. I mean, if I think about it, I was in high school reading Box Office Poison.
Right.
So...
Right. Yeah, he's probably up there.
Yeah, I mean...
He's probably closer to my age than yours.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be late 30s.
Yeah.
Late 30s.
Yeah.
Alex Robinson, late 30s.
All right. We've dated you, Alex Robinson, and the show.
Now, next item of our business.
So,
Muppets?
Post Star Wars, really.
Well, no, Return of the Jedi still.
I know, but what can we say about Return of the Jedi?
Wasn't it great? Do you know anything? I don't know.
I don't have a lot of Mark Hamill trivia about Return of the Jedi.
I know you're a big fan of the director of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, Richard Marquand.
Yeah, I really respect your commitment to keep his name alive.
That's right. Yes.
Rest
in peace.
Yeah,
Also-
R.I.P. R.I.P.
Also, Rob Williams.
R.I.P. It still hurts. It
Still hurts.
Yeah. Every time I buckle my belt. Oof.
Every time I put on my rainbow suspenders. Hurts. I die a little inside.
you see what I was doing, the belt. So, anyhow. So,
We went dark there for a second.
Yeah. So, do you know anything about his relationship with that director? Or do you know anything about his relationship with any director who's not George Lucas? Because I would like to believe that I would like to believe that he took no direction from anyone except for George Lucas. Like, he would be, like, troubled on set, and George Lucas would come in and be, like, whisper in his ear, like, a true Jedi would never do this.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, let's face it. Like, Harrison Ford was looking to get out of Star Wars. But not just get out of Star Wars. He was, like, planning, like, if not the next step ahead, the next 5 steps ahead in his career.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and to be fair, I mean, the rope was running shorter for him than anyone else because he was so old compared to everybody else.
Yeah, right. But he
know?
was also, I mean, like, he was planning ahead. Carrie Fisher was, again, just stoned out of her mind.
Yep. Sleeping with him.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it seems like Mark Hamill, like, didn't really have, like, a game plan for once Star Wars ended.
I don't think he believed it was ending.
Well, I'd like to believe that it didn't end for him, and he's been on the payroll for the last 40 years.
Yeah, on the payroll, making movies by himself.
I don't know if he was making movies, but yeah, it seemed like, let's face it, in this day and age, if any of the actors that are going to be in SW7, their career is going to be huge. Post
Debatable.
No, come
Ask
on.
Ewan McGregor.
I mean, yeah, but Ewan McGregor's career was bigger before. Like, he had a big career.
No, well, he started strong.
You know. But, like,
hard to run that race that hard, that long. Yeah.
But, I mean, in this day and age, you know, it's like, if you're in a huge blockbuster, odds are your career is going to, like, nowadays,
if you get some talent, you'll get noticed.
Yeah, nowadays it's not like your career just dies.
But like
unless
someone like
you're Hayden Christensen or Jake Lloyd.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah. Well, Jake Lloyd's a little boy.
Right. I mean, but
he's just a boy.
He's just a boy. But like, you're going to get deals and movies and money thrown at you. Only
for a year or two, though. I mean, like, you know who's got the most writing on this? I think either Oscar Isaacs or Adam Driver. More Oscar Isaacs, because Oscar Isaacs has actually been in a number of like well-regarded films.
Sure,
he's kind of that Ewan McGregor position. Like, if this shit tanks, it'll come back on him, like Ewan McGregor.
Yeah,
Poor Ewan.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I think that.
I'm sorry.
Getting back to Mark Hamill.
Derailing.
Mark Hamill, like, for whatever reasons,
yes,
his career could have been. He could have been somebody.
Oh my God! Yes.
Right. Like he could have been the next. He could have had a career just as big as Harrison Ford's was post Star Wars.
Hell yes.
Right?
I mean, if he hadn't had that accent, ruin his face.
Right. What? Madness took over.
Yeah. But no, it's true. Like we were saying earlier.
But he disappeared from the limelight.
Yes.
He disappeared from the limelight.
He did.
Supposedly.
Why did that happen? Was it because he had children, Ron?
No.
Was he happy and found
I read
the money?
that this is very ironic, but he did not want to be typecast as a space hero, you know, of the Golden Boy character.
Sure.
So he goes on to create the voiceover role of Joker in the Batman series.
But that's not till like 92,
I don't know
94.
when does. So there's a huge gap between 1983 and 1994.
Massive gap.
But didn't he do voiceover?
He did a lot of voiceover.
He didn't start with the Joker.
No, God no.
Right?
He did no. That was not his first voiceover gig.
But once he does the Joker,
That's it.
That's it. Then he's typecast as doing like the maniac roles.
You can hear
voiceover work.
You can hear a proto Joker voice in
as
his
the trickster, right?
The trickster in the Flash. That's exactly right. Yes.
The early Flash series.
Yeah, not the current one.
Not the current one, but the early one.
The one where he looked like a superhero. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but like with a gigantic.
Yeah, and you can actually look
weird.
this up on YouTube if you do a search for Flash trickster Mark Hamill. You can actually see some.
He was doing
clips.
voices all the way back in 1977 with Wizards.
The
Ralph Bakshi film.
Yeah, so he was, and didn't he? You know what? Here's a bit of trivia.
Hit me.
He did a voiceover in Empire Strikes Back.
As
the first shuttle is away.
Really? That's him.
That is him.
Wow,
yeah.
man. That's why you listen, folks.
Yeah.
That's good.
I did a deep dive on Mark Hamill, and the first transport is away. That's Mark Hamill.
We did skip over a little bit here.
Okay.
Post Empire, we got the Big Red One.
Big Red One, yeah.
Which I have watched a
Lee
lot of.
Marvin.
Yes, I watched a lot of interviews with him and Lee Marvin, which were very entertaining because I love old television interviews.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. He
I've yet to see the movie though. To be honest,
I probably saw it.
I feel like you've seen it before.
World
you
War
talked
II.
about it,
World War II, right? Lee Marvin.
Yeah.
Al
Young
Pacino.
soldier, old soldier.
Al Pacino.
Writes itself. Then he was in The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia, which I watched with my mother as a young boy.
You shouldn't be watching that with your mother.
No, I don't know why I did. And then he was in something called Britannia Hospital, which I know very little about. Do you know anything about this?
Yeah, it's the Spanish version of General Hospital.
Oh, yeah. Yes. That's
I
a
don't
good
know.
one.
I don't know what
That's
that
a very good one.
No idea. He did. So Mark Hamill did a series of Spanish soap operas in the late 80s.
So I guess if you want to find out why he disappeared from the limelight, I think that would be it, is that Hollywood clearly did give him a shot in between Empire and Jedi. He had at least two pretty big movies, because much like they talked about in the beginning of Reservoir Dogs, The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia was a massive, massive hit. Yeah. It was probably positioned as being a fairly decent movie, and he's the lead.
Right.
He's a male lead.
Yeah.
And doesn't go anywhere.
Doesn't go anywhere.
Big Red One. He's got an aging Lee Marvin he's holding up.
I don't think that this reflects on his talent. It's just that
could be a lot of things. Movies don't succeed for a lot of reasons.
I think that he is a very unique character on screen.
Yes. I would say
he is not, even though he's essentially the lead in Star Wars. I don't think he's really a leading man type.
He's
he could have been. He could have been shaped to be a leading man.
Prereq.
Right? But I don't think that he's comfortable as a leading man.
I think that there's very few directors who actually know how to work Mark Hamill. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I think he can. Voice actor is one thing, but having him in a film, I think clearly George Lucas had a very close connection with him.
Yeah,
but I don't think anyone else has so much because you're right. He's a very unique talent, and it's a quirky talent, and it's anyhow. So does Jedi.
He does Jedi.
Post that, right away he jumps into doing, he does the voice on Nazca Valley of the Wind.
Okay.
Yeah,
voiceover.
That's Nazca is like an early Studio Ghibli film.
Okay, all right.
So, and it's a great movie.
Sure. But then he goes on, aside from playing the Joker, which he becomes famous for, again, prior to... Like, a lot of people know him as the Joker more so than Luke Skywalker, I would guess. That he really owns that role.
Oh, yeah. In terms of, as far as animation circles go, sure. Yeah.
So, but he goes on to create...
Because he goes and does that through the Arkham Asylum games.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. What he creates, he is in so many different animated films as voiceover talent. The list goes on and on.
You know what's bizarre? In 1987, post-Jedi, he was in Alfred Hitchcock Presents.
That was a TV show, right?
Can you believe that show is still going on in 87? Was Hitchcock alive still?
I think it was. I think it was like a revival.
Oh, okay, like the '80s Twilight Zone revival.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
But he. I mean, I can't even list off all of the voiceover work that he's done.
It's crazy.
It's insane. Like huge list of credits that he has.
You know what? There is one movie that we did not watch. I don't think that was probably a big over.
Which one?
Guyver.
What?
Guyver.
MacGyver? He was MacGyver?
Pause the podcast.
Okay.
And we're back.
You had to show me this clip because this was clearly something I glossed over, did not see. Guyver. Not MacGyver.
Yeah.
Where Mark Hamill plays a character who becomes a giant cockroach and then dies.
Yep. And that's the Guyver. So get out there.
Yeah, that's gross.
So, I mean, that's what, 80, it's late 80s, maybe early 90s, somewhere in there. And so he's already back in his sci-fi, despite at some point wanting to break away.
But clearly B movie.
B movies being generous.
Like,
yes.
This is not. Like,
but it's a fun. I have watched
the videos.
I have watched Guyver back in the day. It's a fun movie. It's kind of a kaiju thing.
Okay. What is kaiju?
Kaiju is like the big monster movies.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like
gotcha.
Yeah.
Like Mothra. And,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And there's kind of been a resurgence and interest in those things lately.
So.
But
he was the star of this. Like the clip you showed me, he becomes a cockroach and then dies.
Yeah, he's not the star.
Oh, okay.
No, he's just a dude.
Just a
the plot. He's part of the plot.
just a bit part to become a cockroach and then die.
Yeah, pretty much.
Really
and
gross.
so this is kind of throughout my childhood. This was Mark Hamill for me.
Okay.
He's a guy who, outside of Star Wars, randomly shows up in things and dies.
Kind of gross.
Yeah, he's kind of gross.
All right.
Right. So,
well, but I think another part of not my childhood, maybe not yours, but another part of his career was Wing Commander, right?
Oh yeah, Wing Commander was part of my childhood. Yeah.
So he was a character on that, right? A video game.
Yes. Now here's the thing: my relationship is more to the cartoon.
Okay.
Which I think he did a voice on, which I can't confirm right now. But yeah, he was part of the video game. It was one of those. I feel like it was like a Sega CD or something.
Yes.
And
it was like it was the time in video game history where live action footage was actually videotaped.
Yes.
For cutscenes instead of actually
Revolution X.
Instead of actually having like CGI cutscenes.
I said Revolution X because I thought you'd be like, yes, Aerosmith. But yeah, that was Aerosmith's video game.
I'm not an Aerosmith fan.
Really?
I am not an Aerosmith fan.
Really? You don't give in to the Aerosmith, huh?
I do not.
I mean, I wouldn't call myself a fan anymore, but I'm not going to turn my back on them either. I mean,
Van Halen? Yes.
No?
Aerosmith? No.
Ron just held his hands in the air and made the V.
I did.
But so what I was getting at with bringing up the Guyver was that he goes right back to genre. Like, it's interesting because Star Wars is based in genre B films.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
But it transcends it. It
not
transcends
B films per se.
Those serials
it's based in serials.
Those serials are B films.
Those were,
they're
they weren't
the
called
entry
B films back then. They were just serials.
But they're cheap little things made for kids that start before the movies plays.
Yes. And
it's interesting that he kind of goes back to that world regularly. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So he's in this Guyver in 1991.
Right.
Follows that up with Black Magic Woman, and he does The Trickster and The Flash.
Sure.
He's also in stuff like Sleepwalkers, and eventually gets into like Body Bags. All these like very genre B things.
Yeah.
Before ultimately kind of finding his role in voice acting with the Little Mermaid TV show and Batman show, all that good stuff.
Yeah. Like, wasn't he he was in a myriad of cartoons, like
Oh, yeah. Oh, my
Animaniacs,
Garfield
Pinky
and-
and the Brain,
Garfield and
yeah,
Friends.
like everything.
And then he shows up,
Avengers, like Marvel, DC, like he's been in everything.
and he splits his time between these like B films and his voice acting stuff. And he seems to have a close friendship with Bill Mumy Mummy,
yeah.
spelled like Mummy with one M in the middle.
Yeah, M-U-M-M.
But,
M-U-M-Y.
I mean, but he
Which is the kid from
Lost in Space.
Lost in Space, right.
and I feel like, and Bill Mumy has also had like a pretty prolific career in science fiction. He's been a co-writer with Peter David on a lot of science fiction novels.
Mm-hmm.
He's also written a couple comic books. The Comet Man from Marvel is a 6-issue miniseries, actually fantastic, from the 80s. Bill Sienkiewicz covers. But I feel like that, and this is all supposition, you know, but I feel like at some point those two hooked up in terms of like hanging out.
Sure.
And during like the Star Wars buzz, and he told him like, "Hey man, don't let yourself get pigeonholed." You know what I mean?
Sure.
Or alternately, he was like talking to him and was like, because there's a cool circle of friends that happens here. Bill Mumy.
Wait. I want to go back on those friends. So he was friends with from Corvette Summer. He maintained friends with Danny Bonaducci.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But even a more important friend was he was friends with Robert Englund.
Yes.
Robert Englund,
a.k.a.
Freddy.
Yes. Freddy Krueger.
Freddy Krueger. And this is a very important friendship for Mark Hamill.
Mm-hmm.
Freddy Krueger, Robert Englund himself, tried out for Luke Skywalker.
That's what I've heard.
1976 auditions for Luke Skywalker, does not get the part. Calls up Mark Hamill and says, "Hey, I just auditioned for this part, didn't get it. Think you'd be perfect for the role. You should try it." That's how Robert Englund, Freddy Krueger himself, gets Mark Hamill to become Luke Skywalker.
Now, I've heard this story from an interview with Robert Englund, and apparently these guys just hung out. Like, they were young actors in Hollywood, just hanging out. And, that's cool.
I think it's interesting the circles that Mark Hamill keeps at this point in his career, because, he ends up hanging out with, a lot of voice talent.
Yeah.
You know, I'm skipping ahead here a little bit because I want to go back on a couple things, but he ends up making a movie called the Comic Book the Movie.
Yeah, which to me is the Rosetta Stone of Mark Hamill.
This is, right?
Yeah.
He's so this is a movie about a guy who is hired to be a consultant on for a movie. They're going to make a superhero movie.
Right.
Of a superhero from the 1940s or whatever comics, right?
Yes.
And he was a big collector of that.
Now he's kind of playing a Steve Sansweet sort of role.
Yeah, he's kind of a collector, and the filmmakers hire him to be kind of a consultant, and they're going to make a more of a blockbuster type.
Yeah, they're going to Hollywood it up.
Hollywood it up, and he doesn't want to do it, so he's kind of doing this kind of counter campaign to
kind of like a guerrilla.
Yeah, to try to make the real movie about this character from the 40s who wasn't about the glitz, wasn't about the glamour, wasn't about the special effects.
Yes, it wasn't about all these tropes.
Right.
Yeah.
And he makes this movie. Mark Hamill does now. Right. It's a movie within a movie. Yeah. Mark Hamill is making this movie.
When is this from? Is this from 2000?
Yeah, this is 2004 or something. Okay. And he's filming it at the San Diego Comic Book Convention. And he's filming it with what turns out to be all of his voice acting buddies.
Yeah, you get Billy West in there.
Billy West is big. Billy West is known for many big things. He was pretty much half the voices in Futurama. He played a big part on the Howard Stern show for a while.
Yeah, amazing stuff. So funny.
Like Billy West. I always forget his last name.
Yeah.
Billy West.
Yeah.
Like he's a great talent in the voiceover acting community.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much as being in front of the camera,
No.
but yet he's in front of the camera for Mark Hamill's movie, along with other voice actors. Like everybody in this movie is basically a voice actor, but now they're in front of the cameras.
Right.
And it's odd.
I remember
it's odd that Mark Hamill could have had a huge career after Star Wars. He could have parlayed his success as Luke Skywalker into, if this happened nowadays, he could have parlayed that into a huge career playing, whatever. He could have had numerous franchises under his belt.
Yes.
But he doesn't do that.
Okay. Anyone who played Luke Skywalker, anyone, could parlay it into something.
Right?
Right.
But Mark Hamill does not. He parlays it into voice acting.
He parlays it into very strange little adventures. When I first watched the comic book movie,
Yes.
I watched it twice. I watched it once alone. I watched it once with a friend. And my takeaway both times was, he's insane.
He's kind
He's
of insane.
insane.
Like,
And-
he is... Like, this is... Yeah, you're right. It's kind of the Rosetta Stone, because
Yes.
this movie is basically Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill, wrote it and directed it.
Uh-huh. I mean, wrote as much as you write. Any
Right. It
reality
seemed
movie,
like
yeah.
mostly ad-libbed.
Improv,
Yeah. But he directed it.
But
So
I mean,
this
it
is
could
his
have all been
baby.
because they have that suit they make.
Well, this is his baby,
Yes.
right?
Oh,
Right?
yeah. I don't
And-
think anyone else is going to claim it.
And this is, he clearly, like you said before, like when we were talking about early on in his career, he was not a sci-fi fan. But at this point in his life, making this movie, he knows comic books, he knows comic book lore.
He's done a comic book. Right.
I want to get to that, but
Yeah.
he knows comic books, he knows comic book lore, he knows all the tropes of comic books, he knows, going to comic book conventions and what it's like to be there.
Yes.
He's talking to people like Kevin Smith. He knows about Kevin Smith's career.
Is Kevin Smith in that?
Kevin Smith is in it.
Wow.
They're talking about when Kevin Smith wrote the Superman script.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah.
He knows,
Yeah, it's totally improv.
inside geek.
Yeah.
This is Mark Hamill is now, telling a story inside the geekdom
Oh, yeah.
world. And it's weird because it's like, Mark, you could have been huge. You could have been Harrison Ford, but you've gone this other route where you're like,
You've gone a path I can't follow.
But no, you're going the path that most of the fans can follow.
Mark Hamill, you're breaking your word.
You're becoming one of us.
Yes,
he
in a
becomes
weird way.
In a weird way, he becomes a geek just like us.
Walks among us.
Right?
Yeah.
He goes to comic book conventions and
He walks
films a
among us,
movie
but he is
about
not.
comic book conventions and the comic book world.
Well, how long has he been doing conventions at that point? It's got to be at least 15 years.
Sure.
If not 20.
Right.
And
I've never seen him at a comic book convention.
I haven't either.
I mean,
I know he does Celebration.
I don't honestly. I want to take you to task on that one. I don't believe he does comic book conventions a lot. I
think he did.
I don't
at some point.
even know. I think he when he makes a comic book convention appearance is very rare nowadays,
Really?
or throughout his career. I don't think he does it very often. And when he does do one, it's a big deal. Like he
And
did.
he charges a lot for his signature.
He did Star Wars Celebration, and it was a big, big deal.
Well, what's interesting is we talked about the circle of friends he has.
Yes.
So you got the Bill Mooney.
Yes.
You got the Robert Englund.
Yes.
Right? Peter David fits in there somewhere, too, as a comic book writer. And also just a fantasy writer. But all these guys do this.
Right.
They're all on the convention circuit.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Robert Englund he's a hardcore...
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because there's comic book conventions and there's
Because
horror
Robert
conventions.
Englund isn't just Freddy Krueger. I mean, he's done
Oh, he's
other
a horror icon.
Horror icon.
Yeah, I mean,
didn't
but-
he do Twilight Zone and?
Oh, he's done all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, he's an actor, but
Yeah.
he's primarily
Was
much
he in Body Double?
Body Double. I'm not familiar with that.
Brian De Palma.
Maybe.
Was that him and Brian? Was that in?
I can't picture that movie. It's Michael Caine, right?
No, it's like the main character is like, it's kind of like a Rear Window movie where he's kind of a peeping Tom and he witnesses a murder, a woman getting drilled to death. Like
cool.
Yeah, it's
like Driller
great.
Killer.
Yeah.
Nice.
I want to say that's Robert Englund.
Huh. Sounds good. I'll certainly investigate it.
Folks, tune into our Robert Englund episode.
I was about to say, I was like, you know, we
this.
should just do a Brian De Palma podcast. I could do that too. But so anyhow, he's traveling. He's hanging out with all these guys who do the circuit
to the point where. Well, do you have a? I was going to jump into it.
Oh, my question is that if they were like, you know, hey man, like if there was a point where he's like, oh man, Guyver 2, they don't want me back, you know, and they're like, and then Robert or somebody's like, hey man, there's this whole circuit you can tap into.
Sure.
I sell my signature for like $50, and he's like, well, you're just Freddy Krueger, I'm Luke Skywalker.
Well, so we're hovering around it. I want to bring up what I call mystery number two in the life of Mark Hamill.
Okay.
And that is The Black Pearl.
Oh, there it is.
The Black Pearl is a comic book.
See, you threw me off because we were going chronologically.
I know, I skipped over this, but I wanted to bring this back because the three mysteries in Mark Hamill's life, this is number 2.
Interesting fact about The Black Pearl is I've seen it. I saw it on sale when I was a kid at a chain store, either a Walmart or Target or a Kmart.
Yeah.
So it was a thing.
Okay, so wait. Did you see the trade paperback or did you see the issues?
Well, it's an interesting thing. When you think of trade paperback, it's not the trade paperback you're thinking of today. This is a digest size thing that I saw.
Okay. So. Here's the real thing. Okay. When it came out in issues,
who published that?
Dark Horse.
Ah, of course.
Right.
Of course. With the Star
when
Wars
it came out in issues, very, very adult-oriented book.
Really?
A lot of nudity. A lot of boobs everywhere.
Nice.
Right? Boobs everywhere. Right.
Very good.
I watched the clip of him, Mark Hamill, on Conan, 1997. They brought him out to promote the special edition Star Wars movies at re-released to the theaters.
Yes.
And Conan is actually talking to Mark Hamill. He's like, hey, you're doing this book, The Black Pearl, comic book for kids, and Conan, being goofy Conan as he is, opens it up, on network TV, full spread of boobs everywhere. He's
really?
like, how can this be for kids? And they're blurring out the, they're pixelating the boobs.
Yeah.
He's like, how is this for kids? He's like, well, and Mark Hamill is like, well, you're looking at the actual book as it was released in issues, but we're going to cover up those boobs for the trade paperback.
Oh.
And so it's a little bit more kid-friendly. And I thought it was all bullshit, right?
Yeah.
I was like, it's talk show banter,
sure.
right? I got my hands on the trade paperback.
Yeah.
All the boobs are covered up.
Yeah.
Like they actually went in and drew bikinis on all the
awesome.
women. Right?
Nice.
So this book is about a vigilante hero. Right?
Yeah.
Who is basically a peeping Tom.
Cool.
Right? And a shock jock.
Shock jock, really?
A shock jock, yeah.
Which is weird. What year did this come out?
This is, 1997 or so.
90-something?
Yeah.
Because in 94, he shows up on Howard Stern's
it's funny,
New Year's Eve gala
if you look up the synopsis of Black Pearl online, they're like shock jock. Shock jock inadvertently tells the news story about this vigilante and turns this perverted peeping Tom into a vigilante hero by telling the story on the air.
Oh, that's awesome. It's totally...
But in the comic, it's not a shock jock. He has a TV show.
Well, I mean
it's not really
it's
not really a disc jockey, but
sure.
He's referred to online as shock jock.
Well, we know that he's very interested in comedians. He thinks comedians are awesome.
He is.
Despite not doing a lot of comedies himself.
Right. He's got a weird fascination with David Letterman. where he's recorded like every episode on VHS. Has a VHS library,
like a basement of them. Yeah, and he shows up on that Howard Stern event. He clearly was a Stern fan in the '90s. And then he does this shock jock thing, which is, I mean,
well, so the mystery.
When you say shock jock, there's only one person comes to your mind. Really.
Exactly.
Bubbles Love Sponge.
Right. But so the mystery of the Black Pearl is he creates this book, this comic book, right? Goes on Conan and says, like, says, oh well, it's not really a comic book. It's a screenplay adapted into a comic book.
Right.
And I'm going to make this a movie.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And
Funding
this is 1997.
Funding has appeared and disappeared many times, right?
Oh yeah, he's let the rights on this lapse like numerous times. And he says, well, because he wants to make it, he doesn't want to have any interference from studios. He wants to, keep the artistic integrity of this. Like, over 20 years have passed. He has not made this movie. And honestly, I've read half the book. Like, it's kind of dated. Like, Mark, you're not making this. Like, this is not, like...
Do you think Comic Book the Movie was another attempt to get funding? Like, where you make a movie to, like, double down?
I think that this is a project that, like...
Where it's like post-Blair Witch, right? Post-Blair Witch, and it's like, you can shoot these, like, handycam things for nothing. And he's like, I've got all my famous friends here at the Comic-Con. We all do the circuit together.
His famous voiceover friends.
Sure.
Like, Harrison Ford is not, like, helping him out.
Well, I don't think that's a friend either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just looking at to give credit to credit's due. It's drawn by H.M. Baker, who I'm not familiar with.
Okay.
But it is, I don't know anybody involved in it except for it's edited by Bob Schreck, who famously has edited everything from Frank Miller books to, I mean, he's a hell of an editor.
Sure.
But it's colored by Bernie Melrue, which is actually one of my favorite cartoonists of all time. I did a comic called The Jam in the 80s.
Okay.
But,
was The Jam connected to Mad Men?
Yes. Yeah, Mad Men and The Jam did
I know The Jam.
Yeah. Yeah, that's him. So that's pretty cool. But, so it's like that must have been a Bob Schreck Dark Horse hookup.
Yeah.
That happened there. But, so we actually have the comic out right now.
Yeah, we're just kind of pulling it up on my iPad here and just looking at some of the art.
Because this is, we talked about the idea that anyone who was Luke Skywalker could make a franchise, could make their own little world. This was an attempt to do that, right?
This was. He was,
the importance of the Black Pearl can't be overstated. Would you say that?
No, absolutely not. This is Mark Hamill's baby.
Yes.
And it seems to continue to be his baby.
And this was the era of techno comics and such?
Check out that artwork.
Oh, yeah.
Familiar? Like...
What have we got? What are you thinking?
Freddy Krueger?
Oh, the Freddy Krueger with the needle hands. Yeah, sure. Totally. Oh, well, there it was, right there. Special thanks to Bill Mooney, Peter David, Mike Richardson, Monty Sheldon, Jimmy Johns, and Richard Powers. So, Bill Mooney and Peter David there up front.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, not having read it, what was your thoughts, Ron?
I read some of it. It seems a little disjointed. It seems a little bit like... I mean, it's telling an interesting story.
What's it about? I mean,
it's basically about this peeping Tom who is turned into a vigilante hero.
Why? What's
by
he do?
By the media. So basically, this hot blonde goes out for late night to get diapers from.
As hot blondes do.
Yeah, and she gets attacked, and this peeping Tom who is watching her kind of saves her, but she disappears anyway. And there's some serial killers that he ends up like kind of capturing, and it becomes very much a media circus.
Okay. Oh well, which is that there it is, and it's the '90s O.J. Simpson trial and what have you. Yeah.
So I mean, I haven't quite finished it. I don't know if I will.
Looks like a slog.
There's a lot to read.
Yeah.
It's got the typical problems with amateur comic book writers is
what
there's a
year
lot
does
of text on the page.
What year did this come out again? Do you remember?
96,
96,
97.
97. Howard Stern's going to keep popping up here, but 97, also the year that Private Parts comes out. Do you think there's a connection?
Isn't this also around the time that Kevin Smith was writing Daredevil?
Maybe.
Yeah.
So you think there's a connection there where it's like, I can get funding from one of my famous friends for this movie?
It's possible.
Right.
I mean, it's possible that, he was kind of... Yeah. Like, it kind of feels like at this point the heat of Luke Skywalker is gone.
Well,
and
and what,
really
97, so
trying
at the heat of the reissues is coming out, right?
Yeah.
Like, things are getting reissued in the theaters. He's got some public spotlight, so this is a new thing he can talk about when he goes on the talk show circuit. He's got his famous friends. Someone's going to make this movie.
Yeah.
Right?
But it never gets made.
Doesn't happen.
Never gets made.
And so, I wonder what happens next, Ron.
So I think his kids are coming of age, and they're pushing him back into getting into live acting.
Dad, you were Luke Skywalker. Come on.
Yeah, Dad.
Totally,
Like they're kind of like nudging him into, hey, you need to take some edgier roles. You need to, like break out of your comfort zone of being the Joker and voiceover and Luke. Like, do something else, right?
Yeah.
So, like at that point, like, doesn't he take on a role as a serial killer?
I don't
like
what year are we talking?
We're talking like 2004.
Nathan was born in 1979.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so he's he's 5 years older than me.
Okay.
So let's see, where was that put him in 97 then? So 97,
2000. He was born in 1979.
I'm like 12,
89
13.
is 10. 99
I'm not 12.
is 20. He's around 26.
26.
28.
28.
28.
Really? He's that old? No.
You said he was born in 79.
He's 35 now.
79.
In 2014 is...
He was born in
35.
79?
Yes.
79. 89 is 10.
Yeah.
99 is 20.
20.
2009 is
so
30.
he's 18 in 97.
Okay. I'll go with that.
Right.
I don't feel like doing math.
Okay, so he's graduating college, 97.
Yes.
Reissues are coming out. He's like... Is that point where you start criticizing your parents? Like, hey, come on, why don't you go for the brass ring a little bit more? You're Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Sure.
Dad, kind of wear the boots, the Luke Skywalker boots to the premiere.
Right.
No, you'll get attacked. Like, that actually happened.
Really?
Yeah, Mark Hamill owns original, like, Luke Skywalker boots from Star Wars.
I can't even picture Luke Skywalker boots. I can picture Darth Maul
they were
boots.
kind of like wrap around, like.
Well, yeah, kind of. Yeah. Sure.
So.
Come with boots.
Yeah, Nathan wants to wear the boots.
Son.
Yeah, you can't wear those.
You're a child.
Smack it in.
Yeah.
Slap.
Beats the hell out of his kids. Yeah.
So Mark Hamill is like being, I guess, for whatever reason, starts to do some more live acting.
It's true. He spent years and years doing a lot of just voiceover.
Right.
Really. I mean, like with a couple of things here and there.
Right.
Guest
Some
spot
TV,
on Third Rock
some
from the
TV
Sun.
stuff here and there.
What's interesting is like that we
He
pulled
was
up
on The Simpsons.
Yes, we pulled up that Third Rock from the Sun bit, and like he had the whole thing about getting his hand cut off.
Yeah,
like,
right.
He never seemed to be bothered by doing Star Wars jokes.
Right. Well, he does the infamous Kevin Smith movie.
Oh,
He
yeah,
plays
Jane Silent Bob.
Plays Cockknocker.
Yeah, it's Cockknocker.
Has an actual lightsaber, light bong. Wasn't it a bong?
Yes, and he gets his like giant fist cut off, and he's like, not again.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
So he's never been afraid to make fun of his iconic role.
Yeah, that's always been like his. He's cool with it. Like it's like, I'm Luke Skywalker.
But what you were telling me the story earlier that what he is not cool with is Kevin Smith shooting his mouth off about how Mark Hamill does not do all of his stunts and had not done all of his stunts in Star Wars.
Right. Well, if anyone, of course, Kevin Smith never needs a publicist. I mean, he put it out there. You know, he came forward and said this, that he, for years and years, and I've heard this for years, him talking about one of the stunt guys on Mallrats, when they do the whole, like, zip wire stuff, you know?
Yeah.
He said that he was the guy who did the rope swing. He was Mark Hamill's stunt double in the rope swing with Leia in A New Hope.
Right.
And he said that for years. Like, I've heard that story before.
Sure, because Kevin Smith, he never tells stories more than once.
Yeah, of course. And so he said that at some point, about a year ago, that Mark Hamill called him up and was like, I just heard this thing. That's not true. I've always done my own stunt. I always did my own stunts. Like, I was very, like, they're very proud that they did that in one day.
Yeah.
Like, Luke Skywalker, or Mark Hamill was Luke Skywalker zipping over with the rope and the whole thing. And was, like, very offended by it. And then skip forward a little while later, Jay and Silent Bob Super Groovy cartoon movie comes out, and Cockknocker is now no longer played by Mark Hamill. Maybe that was because Mark Hamill felt the choking four-finger grasp of Mickey Mouse on his throat.
Maybe
it was because he was already doing something in England.
Maybe.
Getting prepped for it. Maybe it's just a scheduling conflict. But I like to believe that Mark Hamill was just so offended that anyone would think that he didn't do his own stunt, that he was just like...
That seems to be, like...
Right?
That's an important thing for him.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my God.
He pretty much
literally
did,
the most important things ever done. Outside
he pretty much did
kids,
all of his stunt work except for he didn't do the scene where he jumps off the plank on the Jabba skiff.
Oh, by a Jedi?
Yeah, Jedi he didn't jump off the
because by that time he's like 30, 32.
Right, but he's done everything else, and he's proud of that.
Yeah.
Like, he has a weird, like, I'm proud of this. Like, this is what I'm proud of. Like,
he seems to have a very, like, I don't want to say it's strange, but he does have, like, a very definite sense of self.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, right.
Like, and whether that self is Luke Skywalker or is something else, I don't know. But, like, reading the article you sent about him collecting all those David Letterman tapes.
Yeah.
It's like, he seemed very just self-assured and like, yeah, it's a weird
what
thing.
I do, but it's weird, but I did it. Yeah.
And
I'm a fan.
I have all the tapes. Yeah. I don't know. They've contacted me.
Right. Right. I'm an expert on this now.
Yeah.
I guess, so he ends up doing some new live action roles. He does he plays a villain on the TV series Chuck. Did not see that.
The strange thing about Chuck, I've not seen an episode.
Never mind.
I've seen ads and stuff. I have no idea what the concept is.
I don't either. I get it mixed up with Pushing Daisies, another show I've never seen.
It's funny you say that, 'cause I blend it with Alias and oh god damn it, what's the other show? Not Dexter. Some other show though, like some other like.
Yeah, it kind of fits in with those. Like I can picture it with Dexter. Like, scruffy hair guy.
Yeah, scruffy haired guy on a clean background.
Yeah.
Pushing Daisies fits in with that too. It's like, what is this?
I don't know. Yeah,
and it's like, I think he's a secret agent. Is it? My interpretation of Chuck was that it was kind of like a modern Get Smart. Is that remotely true?
Maybe.
Yeah. You can maybe count that as one of your lies when you do the Facebook challenge to be king of a day.
Pushing Chuck is a super agent, maybe
because we don't know.
Yeah, all of a sudden the contest has been compromised because they're like, well, that was not a false fact.
Well,
it's just something you got wrong.
To be fair, the rules were 5 or more false facts, and honestly, I only had 3 planned, so I just assumed we'd have more than 5.
I don't believe we've hit 5 yet.
Nice.
I'm counting 3 so far.
Cool. All right, well, I'll throw in a few more.
Yeah, we need a couple more, but I count 3. I'll have to go back when I'm editing the show to count them, but we'll see. So he does some other live action feature films. He does, I guess most notoriously, he does a movie called Sushi Girl.
Right. Yeah, Sushi Girl was a big one for him.
Yeah, Sushi Girl
for me
is,
at least.
Yeah, so Sushi Girl, I believe, is part of like the Amazon network of movies.
Ooh.
It was created for the Amazon.
Is that true? I don't think so.
I believe that's where I read that was what that was created for.
They bankrolled that, huh?
Yeah.
I haven't read anything about it, so maybe.
So I watched it. It's on Netflix.
Yes.
Like I didn't watch it on
Which
Amazon.
that's one of the reasons I would think it wasn't created for Amazon.
Me neither. But I read that and I was like, well, it's on Netflix, so I'm gonna watch it on Netflix. So
Sure.
he plays kind of this pudgy, kind of long-haired, bleach blonde, somewhat effeminate
He's
criminal.
Creepy. He's creepy.
Yeah, he's
I've
got like
seen
a lot
stills.
of creepiness going on with him.
Yes.
Right? And this is all about now when I describe this movie to you, chime in when you think you know what movie it's ripping off.
Okay.
Okay. So it's about a heist that goes wrong,
Right.
and it's about a group of guys that get
Reservoir Dogs.
together. Yes.
Okay.
They get together after a heist goes wrong at a secluded location.
Yes.
This happens to be a sushi restaurant where they have hired a private room where they actually are. There's a naked woman with sushi on her, and that's how the sushi is served.
Sex and the City 2.
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. Did that happen in that movie?
Maybe it was Sex and the City 1. I can't remember.
I saw that one.
Well,
I didn't see two.
Kim Cattrall puts sushi all over her body for her lover.
Maybe
nothing?
I don't.
Nothing? Okay.
I'm blanking on
Is
it all.
this not acceptable for Star Wars?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
So the events are replayed on how the heist went wrong in flashback.
Yes.
And there's also some torture scenes. They accuse one of the guys involved in the heist of being kind of the thief of all the diamonds that were stolen.
Mm. Yeah, this
And
is sounding
so
very
there's-
much like Tarantino.
Yeah, so there's some torture. There's some teeth removal, which reminded me of the old Marathon movie, Marathon Man,
Yes.
with Dustin Hoffman.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot. There's again, Reservoir Dogs is replayed. There's a Mexican standoff, although this time you get to see like people die in it,
Nice.
including Mark Hamill.
Oh. Spoilers.
Yeah. And lo and behold, the person that gets the final revenge on everyone
Yes.
is the sushi girl.
Ah.
She was apparently
Alive the whole time.
Apparently, in the getaway in the heist, there was a car accident. Her boyfriend gets out of the car. He was involved in the accident with her. He gets out of the car to check on the criminals, and they kill him.
Yes.
So she decides to get revenge on them by getting naked, putting sushi on her body, waiting for them all to have a Mexican standoff, kill one another until the last man is standing. Then, literally, the last 15, 20 minutes of this movie, she is butt naked
Hot.
and getting her revenge.
What a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the movie. That's the highlights of the movie. Mark Hamill is gay, and there's a butt naked chick getting her revenge.
This film came out in 2012.
Yeah, so we are getting awfully close to modern times with Mark Hamill.
Now, chronologically, I just want to hit a few things that we skipped over real quick. Because, he was also in Futurama. He was in Bender's Big Score.
Yes.
Not
as himself. He was
No.
probably a voice.
No, yes, exactly. He's
Yeah.
he's done a lot of voiceover, obviously, which we've covered.
Yep.
I did notice that he was in like 3 episodes of Son of the Beach, another Howard Stern joint.
Nice.
So that once again, Shock Jock comic,
Yeah.
does Howard Stern's 1994 New Year's thing, and does Howard Stern's TV show 3 times.
There you go.
So he's
There you go.
clearly connected.
Yeah.
That's one more time than Gilbert Gottfried did.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Wow.
that's pretty connected. Also VIP, Pamela Anderson, probably another Howard Stern joint there.
Probably.
One episode of Samurai Jack. I just mentioned that only because Samurai Jack's kind of becoming an ongoing theme in the show. We
Sure.
mentioned it repeatedly.
Right.
And
He was also he did Clone Wars. He did a voice in Clone Wars.
Really?
I
That's not even
believe
on his IMDb.
I believe he did Darth Bane.
Yeah, he played Darth Maul. That's right.
Darth Bane.
Oh, the Clone Wars TV show.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Post 2012.
Yeah.
That's post 2012.
Post 2012.
Yes. 'Cause
Okay.
we're only to 2012.
Oh, sorry.
I was just
I
going
jumped
back.
ahead.
Yes.
Sorry.
You skipped ahead. All right. Okay. So, post Sushi Girl, what do we got?
Post Sushi Girl, we get.
Oh, he also showed. He did a lot of voice work on Metalocalypse. Did you ever watch that show?
I have not watched it.
Oh, you'd love it, Ron.
Yeah.
That's a good one for the future. And did Robot Chicken a bunch.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did he do the infamous Star Wars Robot Chicken? He might have. I bet you he did.
Oh, I'm sure he did. I mean, there's too many.
Did
There's
he-
8 episodes on here.
Did he do Star Wars Detours?
I would hope so. It's not listed here, but
Did he do Family Guy?
yeah, Family Guy, or at least Family Guy and the other ones on here. Cleveland
American
Show.
Dad. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh my.
Oh, the black one.
He also played this the black one. He also played the Spectre and the Batman Brave and the Bold
Okay.
for 2 episodes.
All right. All right.
I just bring that up.
And
Anyhow,
that's animated. Right?
I like how we're just sweeping aside the majority of his career. We're like,
Well, the
"Man,
majority
this
of his career is just voiceover.
Yeah,
I mean, he did the
just.
Joker. He did the
Yes.
Joker. Like that is what.
Well,
he's
that's the thing
known
with
for.
Mark Hamill is he's kind of got 2 voices, kind of like Danny Elfman.
Yeah.
He's got
Yeah.
Danny Elfman's got 2 scores. Hamill's got 2
Hamill's
voices.
got 2 voices. I mean,
No, is that right?
I
That's
am
accurate,
not.
right?
Yeah, I'm not.
That feels real.
I'm.
He's got the
I'm
Luke
actually
voice and
not.
the Joker voice.
Yeah, I'm not as familiar with the Joker voice because I'm not a Batman fan. But when I see him do the Joker voice, I'm like, oh, that's it. Like it seems very like connected to Mark Hamill to me.
Oh, yes.
You know, it's like, oh well, he's not. It's not like I can't believe that voice is coming out of that person.
Yeah.
Like I see that. I'm like, oh yeah, I get it. Like it's not that too far removed.
Agreed.
You know.
Agreed.
But he's made quite a career as the Joker.
He's been on 1 million episodes of the regular show, apparently.
What's the regular show?
We've talked about the regular
Oh yeah, that's
Yes.
right. I haven't gotten into that.
So yeah, he's been in this movie called The Kingsman: The Secret Service. I haven't seen that, or Minko.
Oh yeah, so I watched a trailer for Minkow.
Minkow.
Right?
Minkow.
Minkow is basically
Minkow.
I believe it's based on a true story.
Okay.
Barry Minkow.
Yes.
Something to do with
Lightsabers.
some type
The
of
Force.
corporate fraud.
Boring.
Yeah,
Boring town.
but yeah, I mean, it seems totally like a Wolf of Wall Street movie, except totally like less than B. movie.
Minus talent and money.
Yeah, less than B movie.
Sure.
Right, and Mark Hamill apparently plays like the overweight father of Barry Minkow.
Fantastic.
Yes.
And that pretty much brings us to episode 7.
Well, not yet.
Oh. Okay.
Not yet.
Okay.
Mystery. I promised you 3 Mark Hamill mysteries in this episode.
And this mystery goes right back to when we were working together.
This
Pre-podcast.
This was
Back when we were Star Wars haters.
SW7.
Yes.
Yeah.
Star Wars haters. There was an announcement there would be new Star Wars.
Yes.
There was no director announced.
No.
There was no concept of what was going to be happening. There was no characters announced, nothing.
No.
There was a possibility that original trilogy characters would show up.
Yes.
And we were Googling to find out,
Where are they now?
where are they now?
Where are the big 3 now?
Could you see Mark Hamill playing Luke Skywalker today? I mean, we both knew...
They have to be all out of shape. I mean, they're all
clearly-
flabby
we've
and
all
old.
seen flabby Carrie Fisher. We've all seen tired, bored Harrison Ford.
Ford.
But what about Mark?
Where's Mark? What's Mark Hamill been doing?
He's been doing a lot of voices. I haven't seen his face in 10 years. I haven't thought about it.
So pictures popped up on the internet.
Smashburger.
Smashburger. The infamous Smashburger pictures.
Fishing. I mean, let's just bring it up to the table right now.
Smashburger is a burger chain.
Forget the chain.
Out in
the
LA.
point is, he's fishing for cigarette butts, Ron.
That's what it looks like.
Cigarette butts in the ashtray.
That's what it allegedly looks like. It
And
looks
this
like
is as big a mystery.
this is maybe a bigger mystery than the car crash.
Because quite frankly, it's not a mystery.
Why is it not a mystery?
Well, it's as if we had a picture of something smashing his face from the car crash.
We
in
don't see him
1978.
actually.
We see him
pulling
digging into an ashtray outside of a Smashburger.
But do we see him pick up a butt?
I don't know.
Okay.
But
All right. So
But-
we clearly see a
overweight, disgruntled.
Mark Hamill.
Now, maybe he's disgruntled because people were taking his picture. But yes, I would be disgruntled too.
He's digging in the ashtray outside of a... Why is there an ashtray outside of a smash burger in California?
I don't know.
That's weird.
Well,
isn't that weird?
You gotta put your joint out somewhere.
I guess.
I mean,
maybe that's
they're
what
all
he's
high
looking.
out
Maybe
there.
that's what he's looking for.
He's
joints.
smoking dope.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, yes, the rumor has it he is looking for... he's picking out used cigarette butts.
It's...
Out of a smash burger.
It seems like such a leap.
And then he gets...
But you know what? Here's the thing. Ron, you actually pointed out to me the most credible thing about, like, the biggest supporting fact of the idea of this man may or may not be pulling out cigarette butts to find cigarettes that still have enough tobacco to smoke. When you said, did you notice that there's a disability thing?
Yeah, he has a handicap permit hanging from his BMW car.
He's got a Beamer with a handicap.
So yeah,
what do you think his handicap is?
We get the
stoned,
force deficient. I don't know.
I smashed my face in 1978 in Corvette Summer, and now I'm crazy.
Like these are along with the.
I can still drive, but I might be crazy.
Along with the unanswered questions as far as what happened in his car crash in the 70s.
Yes.
Along with the unanswered questions of what happened with his movie deal for the Black Pearl in the 90s.
Yes.
We now have the unanswered questions of what's the deal with the smash burger, cigarette butts, and handicap permit hanging from your car, your rearview mirror of your car.
Yeah.
And
what's your handicap?
The 2000s.
Yes.
Like
2012.
Yeah.
13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on here, Mark? Like,
yes.
Like, I personally, like, I give him the benefit of the doubt. Sure. I give him the benefit of the doubt. Like every story I pulled up has basically been editorial speculation on what he's actually doing in these photos. Nothing has ever come out and said officially what the hell he's doing in these photos.
Of course.
But the photos are very incriminating.
I mean, there's a series of photos.
There's a series of photos.
I mean, Google it, folks. Google. Yeah. I mean, if you Google Smashburger, he pops up.
Smashburger.
Like it's straight up.
Is it really? You just Google Smashburger? If you put
Smashburger in,
I'm gonna have to pull that up.
Luke Skywalker will pop up.
No, really? The chain is that like synonymous with him?
I mean, in my mind, there it is. Oh no, sorry. Smashburger space. Give a space.
Oh, is it 2 words? I've eaten that Smashburger. I thought it was 1 word.
No, I mean a space afterwards.
Oh.
Here you go. Okay. Put an M after it. Put an M. Put an M.
Wait, no. I got it. Here we go. Smashburger.
He's on the menu.
Images. Here we go.
There it is.
Here we go. Oh,
it's all burgers.
Those are all burgers. Wait a minute.
This is the hand of mouse.
No, I'm
you could have done this before.
Wait, is that him?
That is him. Oh, no, it's not a man.
It's not him.
The Caucasian fat man.
Another large man eating Smashburger.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So if you do a search...
If you would have done this a year ago, you could have. But the mouse has come down. Just like last week we talked about. What did the mouse squash?
The mouse squashed
the footage. The footage.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that it's still available if you do Smashburger. Oh, there
Smashburger,
it is.
Mark Hamill.
Mark
It's right
Hamill.
there.
Yeah, the first four images.
And it's so bad. It's so bad.
Looking large. He's got like kind of a gray shirt on over some black t-shirt.
Mm-hmm. Black
and
cargo
pants. He's rocking the cargo pants.
Just like Luke Skywalker in Empire Strikes Back. He's got the pockets.
Not just like that. Not just like that. But here is clearly a picture of him.
He has lifted off the lid of an ashtray.
Outdoor ashtray.
Has a cigarette. It looks like he just picked up.
Sunglasses in one hand.
Yep.
Cigarette butt possibly in the other hand.
Now, here's a question.
Here's the next shot.
Ooh.
Creepy look on his face.
More Joker than Luke Skywalker.
He knows he's getting his picture taken.
He's being caught.
He's caught.
Your grandpa was just caught.
Have some more Smashburger.
Oh,
you're good.
You monster. So, these are rough pictures. So here's the thing, Ron. Right now, these pictures are just silly pictures on the internet, and who gives a fuck?
Right.
But he's about to be in one of the biggest films
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
One of the biggest films, period, coming up.
Oh, wait.
Star Wars
Here's the
Episode
final
7.
picture.
Oh, yeah.
Him driving away in his BMW, and clearly a handicap permit hanging from
And
his
he's got
rearview
this
mirror.
dirty emperor look on his face.
And he's throwing butts at a cigarette.
You
out
can actually
of his
see
car.
the butt of the cigarette being thrown out.
That's not photoshopped at all.
No, of course not.
That's real. That's real.
We could tell we're professionals.
Yes.
Um,
Can't fake that.
no, God no. How do you smoke?
Can't fake.
In 2014,
You can't fake a
maybe in
cigarette butt in
2028.
Photoshop.
Anyhow,
Anyhow.
so here's the thing. Right now, it's just silly and funny and whatever.
Yeah.
But he's about to be in one of the biggest films ever. And he's going to have to do a press junket for it.
Right.
If certain rumors are to be believed, he's actually the villain of the piece. Is that right?
That is.
So-
yeah.
How do you have the main villain of your piece go out and do press with all these things? I'm going to ask you point blank. Now, he might be fine if he does Conan again on TBS.
Well-
he might be fine if he does Jimmy Kimmel with Harrison Ford. But what if is he going to go back on Howard Stern, which we know he has an association with? Because Howard Stern will certainly ask these questions.
Howard Stern will ask these questions, but there's the image I was talking about. Body bags.
Body bags.
John Carpenter.
Oh, that's right. He also does John Carpenter's, not Children of the Damned, what's it called? Village of the Damned.
Oh, okay.
He plays a priest. If you just pull up the trailer, you can see him leveling a rifle at a child's head. It's fantastic. As a dressed as a priest. It's great.
Well, I mean...
That's also the movie he's opposite Christopher Reeve. So it's
right.
Superman meets Luke Skywalker. It's not a bad movie either.
I would
what?
say here's the thing with Mark moving forward is I would say the hype of episode 7 is going to be so large that people are going to forget about these things. Maybe not as Stern, but nobody is really going to go as in depth with him as a Stern will.
I mean, they're going to have to put a lot of promotional images out. They're going to have to push those Smashburger images down.
Yes.
They might have to actually just cancel the Smashburger chain. Disney might have to buy it and fold it.
I've had smash burgers. I don't want that to go away.
I've never eaten one.
It's all right.
I confuse it with the peanut oil one.
Oh,
the,
Five Guys? Nah.
Different?
Smash burger is much better.
How so?
Less peanut oil.
Oh, I agree. The peanut oil is a problem.
Yeah.
Are they thicker burgers?
They are thin. They're smashed. They're smashed quickly.
See, Five Guys is a pretty small burger. I'm a vegetarian, so I don't eat any of that stuff anymore. But I remember Five Guys being a pretty thin burger. I remember thinking of it like this is probably what McDonald's started out as.
Well, if only Mark could have dug cigarette butts out of a McDonald's.
Yeah.
You know, put that chain under.
I mean, that could... That's what kills it.
That kills it.
So, I mean, I feel like maybe we didn't do the most comprehensive Mark Hamill.
Oh, I thought we did a pretty good
But-
comprehensive...
I think we, much like we have every other episode, we really shined a light in some of the darker corners.
I think so.
that
I think
world.
so. I think we've covered him on the big three, which is the Corvette, the
Corvette
car
Summer
crash, the Corvette Summer crash,
Yeah.
the failed attempt to make a movie on his own based
Failed
on his
suicide
comic.
attempt.
Failed suicide attempt, yes. The failed career as a talk show host. As well as the failed attempt to get a smash burger in peace.
Right. Or get a cigarette
Or
butt
get
get a cigarette butt out of a smash burger ashtray in peace.
In peace, yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's a God-given right.
It is.
And goddamn these paparazzi for taking
The
that
man
from
is a
him.
Jedi, for God's sake.
He's like, God, well, maybe. The debate goes on. I mean, is he truly a Jedi? The Return of the Jedi, does that mean
The
that
man
he...
is an actor who supposedly plays a Jedi, for God's sakes.
Ladies and gentlemen, when you say Return of the Jedi, do you mean that Luke Skywalker is a Jedi, so now Jedi are back in the galaxy, or do you mean that Darth Vader, Anakin, has come back from that submerged personality? The debate remains.
Do we really know the full extent of Jedi training? Maybe it has something to do with digging cigarette butts out of ashtrays.
I think it clearly does. I mean, if
Clearly
you're
does,
in the
right?
desert for, years on end, and you need a cigarette, right?
You're gonna have to
dig.
Yeah,
You're gonna have to dig.
It's all about recycling.
Exactly. Recycle, reduce, reuse, close the loop.
There we go. Any other final Mark Hamill thoughts?
Let's just tie it up with some loose ends.
All right.
I have
concerns about the future.
I have a few on my hands. And yes, concerns with the future certainly. Number one, we watched a interview, circa promo time for Empire Strikes Back with Harrison Ford and Luke Skywalker.
Yes.
I mean Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill.
Yes, the Guyver. Mark Hamill clearly really into it. Harrison Ford clearly not.
Much, yeah.
I kind of wish that no one else was in the new movie except for Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill.
Well, here's the thing.
Because I don't feel like Harrison deserves it.
How much screen time do you think the original three is going to get?
Harrison's co-lead, broken leg lead.
How much
hobbled lead?
How much screen time do you think Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher are really going to get?
I think Mark Hamill will literally get less than 5 minutes.
I think so too.
Which is a crock of fucking shit.
I think so too.
If he doesn't get a movie, he better get a spinoff.
I think he's going to get. I think that's why this is not a huge concern.
And
Smashburger.
He's got a TV show.
This is why Smashburger has not been smashed by Disney, because they're like, it's only
promotional
a
tie-in.
Cameo. It's only a cameo.
Yeah. There's going to be rebranded as Rex's Burgers or something.
Happy Meal.
Nice.
Happy Meal. Get your cigarettes, Skywalker cigarette butts.
Every Happy Meal comes with 10 cigarette butts. One of which is pre-smoked.
By
Mark Hamill.
All right. Do you have any other Mark Hamill stuff?
I do.
Okay.
Another thing to have about Mark Hamill. You know what? Okay. Yes, I do.
Yes.
I have one.
Yes?
I have one.
Okay.
I have one thing.
Right.
We've been circling it 3 weeks now.
Yes.
Mark Hamill, a.k.a. Luke Skywalker,
a.k.a.
Villain.
the Joker,
a.k.a. Villain.
Oh, yeah, right.
SW7.
Okay, right.
Crock of shit. Yes.
Yes.
Do you think he's really the villain?
Well, here's the thing. I actually almost forgot to bring this up.
By the way, I'm sorry. Are we going to do a Rebels roundup this episode, or are we going to save it for next episode? We're probably pushing the limit.
We're probably pushing the limit on
Sorry,
our
folks.
length.
We'd love to tell you what we thought with New Rebels, but...
yeah, I had some other thoughts about other things, but go on. Anyway.
Luke Skywalker, the villain of episode 7. True and false?
Here's the thing.
And if it's true, what do you think about it?
I think that...
Indignity.
Sushi Girl...
Yes.
He played kind of a very dark, sadistic character. Preparation for episode 7?
Ugh, I hope not.
I don't know. I don't know.
My question is, if anyone's going to be the fucking villain,
yeah,
make it Harrison Ford. Because he has shit on this franchise for so long, whereas Mark Hamill has labored in obscurity doing nothing but loving the fact that he was part of it.
It's true. It is hard to take.
He should both be a hero, have a spin-off, a TV show.
It's hard to take. If Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker is the villain of episode 7,
I'll kill myself.
All right. And there you go. That would be considered fact 5 of our false facts of the episode, because JP's not going to kill himself over that. He'll kill himself over other meaningless things, but not Star Wars.
2016.
I myself.
Now me, on the other hand,
I got the blade to the wrist.
So folks, tune in next time to see who's still alive for Star Wars Delusions of Granular.
Delusions of Granular. That's it, right? Yeah.
I mean, we went an hour 50. I feel pretty good about it.
I do too.
I don't feel like we closed the loop on the Dan Bonaducci thing, but I don't think the loop is there to be closed yet.
Not yet. No.
Yeah, I think the Dan Bonaducci loop is still going. I think he'll circle back.
Holding hopes that it'll show up in 7.
Oh man, they should just have him play the Emperor.
Sure.
He could do it. He could
campaign.
I'm
doing a campaign. Show up in 7.
Danny Bonaducci and stuff. Yeah. I mean, so yeah, folks. Put out some love to Danny Bonaducci. He's on Twitter.
All right, folks. Love us on Twitter as well. SWDog or at SWDog77. Facebook love Facebook at
Facebook.com slash
SW
dog 77.
No, just
No,
SW
no 77?
dog. I don't think we have 77. now.
Facebook.com / 77. Wait.
What?
What?
No. Delusionsofgranular.com.
Go to delusionsofgranular.com / Facebook SW dog.
Oh, you've just lost all of our listeners that we've tried so hard to.
You know what? Just
maintain.
cut through the wheat from the chaff and just straight up email us at swdog77@gmail.com.
There you go.
It's easy as pie.
We'll
You know
tell
what?
you how
Actually,
to like us.
why don't you just... We don't really... I mean, I'm sure you're nice people. I don't care if I hear from you, though. The real point is answer to our corporate masters at Apple and go and leave us an iTunes review.
There you go.
You know?
Yeah.
Go to iTunes, wherever iTunes are sold, and say, I want more SW Dog.
Exactly, folks. If you're not leaving your opinion of us on a corporate server, then it just doesn't count.
Yeah, you're an enemy.
There you go.
Oh, damn it! I came back. I was trying to be good to the audience.
You're not an enemy.
No, you're not an enemy. You're
yet.
Yes, but maybe one. You never know when the axe's going to fall.
Right.
And when the axe falls, you don't want to be on the wrong side of it. So.
All right, folks. I think we've said enough for today.
I wish I could leave a closing thought about Mark Hamill, because I feel like I need something to say. Mark, Corvette Summer, Mark Hamill. I mean, he was really the greatest teenager of any generation.
He was.
I mean, like you said it best earlier, like, he could have been anything.
He could have been a contender.
Much like Batman, like when Batman decided to be Batman, Bruce Wayne decided to be Batman instead of, when he decided to be Batman, medicine lost its greatest surgeon, sports lost its greatest athlete. Like, Mark Hamill could have been Jason Bourne.
True.
Could have been...
True.
Could have been anything.
True. But instead we got Mark Hamill as he is. He's much more real.
He smoked those pre-smoked cigarette butts for us.
He did.
Yeah.
All right, Mark.
This one's for you.
May the force.
May the force be with us all.
Check this out. When we're having sex, sometimes I can't even believe we're having sex. I feel like I'm in a science fiction. You're not saying you look like Gilliard or anything.